Before starting, please show some love if you like this video and subscribe and follow for more.
Testing the Family Helps Family. A fun petty revenge story I think everyone would like. Seeing a lot of golden child stories on Reddit lately. Here is one from a childhood friend I know very well. I left a lot out because I like the revenge part, but it was a rough childhood. Its stats pretty much the same as a lot of the other stories. Greg was the firstborn to young parents, not sure on their ages but early 20s at the oldest, who at the start of his life didn't have much time for him. He was consistently at his grandparents' house. That's how we met. They lived close to us, and we would hang out all the time. When he was about 7, his parents had a girl named Jane, and right off the bat they told everyone this was the make-up kid, the kid who they were going to raise right. As they grew up, Greg was a solid student, had a great friend group, played sports growing up. We became good friends because we hung out in school and was always on my teams. I found out later in life that it's because my parents, being the good people they are, had actually paid for Greg to play some sports, and he was on my teams because that was the only way he could get to games. He started working at 16, saved up everything, went to college, then after completing college transferred to university where he majored in software engineering and met his girlfriend, Sarah, who graduated in chemical engineering. After school they ended up getting good jobs and buying a condo. Jane, on the other hand, has been the typical spoiled child. She was barely passing high school when she needed to transfer after making false allegations that a teacher asked her on a date, and she rejected him. That's why he failed her. She has gotten into multiple car accidents, completely writing off 3 cars, still lives at home. At the time of this story, she would have been 22, and their parents have paid for everything for her, from new computers, to cars, to fast food and vacations. What lead up to this is for a couple years after Greg and Sarah had moved in together, Greg's parents would consistently ask him for loans. Being the bit of a pushover he would often give them a few hundred here and there, then a couple times it would be as much as a few grand. It was a constant fight between him and Sarah. The cycle would be, his parents would ask, he would give and not tell Sarah, Sarah would find out and yell at him, he would try to stand up to his parents. Parents would give him the family helps family when times are tough or blood is thicker than water lines. Even though himself and Sarah knew it was because they were giving so much to his sister. Then something happened. Greg and Sarah found out that they were expecting their first child. This is where something must have clicked for Greg, and he realized that he now has a family he has to worry about. We were at the bar when this seemed to finally click in for him. He had already thought about cutting off his parents. This kind of made the decision for him, knowing he didn't want people like that in his kid's life, so with Sarah's approval, he decided to test their family should always help out family line in a pretty fun way. Well, in my opinion, he also wanted to see if he could get back at least some of the money he had given them. The two of them started looking for a house once they found out she was expecting, found a place they liked, and their offer was accepted. Once they had all the closing dates and information signed off, he called his parents. He told his parents he had lost his job and was on the verge of being homeless. He needed to come up with $5,000 or he would lose his condo and him and Sarah would be homeless. Of course, the excuses started to come out as to why they couldn't help him. If he is man enough to play house, he should be able to stand on his own 2 feet. I saw some of the message. It was like a sports interview with all the greatest hits. Greg expected all this, and he took it all well. To be honest, if his parents had given him the money it probably would have been a far more interesting story. Sure enough, the closing day approached. He tried a couple more times reaching out to his parents, dropping the number he needed all the way down to a couple hundred, and still no help. On the closing day a bunch of us helped him move. His parents knew the date. He had told them he needed the money by such a date multiple times or he was going to lose the condo, and no one showed up to check on him, not even a phone call. After the move he stopped messaging his parents altogether. He didn't block them because he was curious how long before anyone said anything. It took about 2 months. In that time he got engaged, when he got a confused message from his dad, saying they tried to drop by his condo, probably needed something, and there was someone else living in his place. He simply replied, "Thank you for showing me how much family helps family when times are tough. I hope Jane shows you the same support you show me when the time comes. From Greg, Sarah, my fiancée, and soon-to-be daughter. Then he blocked them, and he hasn't reached out them since.
To hear more Reddit stories like this, subscribe to this channel.